Representatives of the Rockefeller family announced that they were divesting their philanthropies, billions of dollars from coal, gas, and oil. And that's pretty amazing if you think about it. There's a first.
So what you're saying is that the gas tax and the DMV tax
is not covering the infrastructure cost by any means, not even close. And so what's happening is the infrastructure, you see it, the infrastructure is decaying. So we need to come up with some way to pay for the maintenance.
The only point in Supervisor Steele's press release that was a little bit factual was the fact that we don't trust Sacramento. There's a lot of distrust. And Eric knows firsthand with the truck weight fees. They were supposed to be used for transportation, and they siphoned off all those fees to use for other things. So that's why there's, amongst other things, there's a huge distrust of Sacramento.
I'm angry that my gas tax is going to go up another $1 a gallon on
it
top of it.
actually isn't a tax.
Yes, it is.
And what you're doing here today, this saves lives for people who want to buy it. And then when gas goes up to $5, $6, $7 a gallon, people are going to have to ride.
There seems to be an unspoken assumption here that any increase in gas price is bad. If there is an uptick, certainly that would be an extra burden on low-income families. But on the other hand, part of this system is the consumer. And if there is a uptick in gas prices, we'll probably react to it by driving less, which we know could have some good effects, like greatly reducing the traffic on the 405. And they might make different decisions about what kind of cars they buy. Instead of gas guzzlers, they'd be looking for the new electrics. There would be less pollution in the air.
As we learned in the beginning of this video, the recent car and gas taxes are not taxes, but here is what they are doing to taxpayers in California. In 2017, this vehicle cost $101 to register or to put the stickers on the license plate. The same vehicle in 2018 now costs $320. This person just paid $564 to register their vehicle. Last month, this person paid $811 to register their vehicle. The due date to register this vehicle is tomorrow, and this person gets to pay $842. And lastly, if you drive a 2016 GMC pickup truck, it is going to cost you $920 to register your vehicle. And believe it or not, this has nothing to do with money or raising funds to fix roads. The politicians want you out of your car. They want to make it so expensive to drive that you are unable to do so and have no other choice but to take the bus or to ride a bicycle.
How do you get people out of their cars?
Get out of their cars.
That will get people out of their cars.
Get people out of their cars.
Get out of their cars.
Getting out of our cars and get out of our cars. So the whole effort here is to get people off of their cars.
We are trying to increase people getting, as the once woman that got up here and spoke, who said she brings her car home on the weekend and then it's walk and bicycle the rest of the weekend. That's progress, ladies and gentlemen.
And what we can find out are things like this, that over 1,000 car trips have been removed.
Likewise, all the decisions we make on these other subjects drives the demand and the type of demand. And I think that land use question is going to be a big one because it creates demand. What kind of demand are we going to drive? Are we going to drive or instigate? I shouldn't use the word drive. Are we going to instigate demand that relies on driving? Are we going to instigate demand that can rely more on transit or walking or biking? Because we're responding as transportation professionals to the demand that's put in front of us.
The gas tax doesn't work anymore. You know why it doesn't work? How many of you drive by the way electric or hybrid? Those gentlemen are not paying their fair share of maintaining the system, right? And we need to make them pay for their fair share, right? But by having the gas tax system, if you drive an electric car, you pay zero toward the maintenance of the highway system. That's not fair. You're making as much damage to the highway system as anybody else. If you're driving a hybrid that goes 45 miles per hour, you're not paying as much to the system.
Trump signals he's open to mileage tax to pay for infrastructure fixes.
What if there was a device in the vehicle that just soon as you pulled up to the pump, it transmitted the data since the last time that vehicle gassed up, just the number of miles driven. For privacy folks, it's not like where they drove or, where they were at, but it's just the miles driven. And it gets reflected on the price that you pay in the pump. So instead of, you're not paying the gas tax if you have that device, you're paying just for the miles you drove. So it takes care of any of this credit rebate stuff where they are doing it in Oregon. You just, you've got that device, there's your charge for the miles you drove.
Essentially, the car would pull up to the pump and there'd be a wireless handshake between the vehicle and the pump infrastructure. And it's already been proven. It was a proof of concept at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It's done every year. In fact, auto manufacturers attending that show has increased substantially. Almost 40% of vendors at the show now are auto manufacturers. And so electronics certainly are entering the vehicle, and we see it kind of being as seamless as using Apple Pay, Android Pay, things like that. Today you can go and wirelessly pay for a transaction at the point of sale without ever having to pull your card out of your wallet. You can use your smartphone for that kind of stuff. Well, our vehicles are becoming just as smart as our phones.
I think that will be the consensus of this technical advisory committee, that this information is not available for any other purpose other than paying for miles driven on the road, period.
And one of the other aspects of it is the GPS or your location-based aspect of it. Right now, the vehicles, they have that capability. They have the location-based because obviously you get your GPS location and mapping in your vehicle, but it doesn't provide that automatically for a road charge. So we weren't able to really identify when you were driving out of state or off-road. It had to be, in order to do that, you have to ping or query the car to pull that data out, and that constant pinging or querying the car is very expensive.
This is Communist United Nations agenda, which will tell you where you want to live, where you have to live, what kind of car you will drive if you have to drive. But they will live in, like I am an Armenian, and Armenia was a communist country for 75 years. I know all about Agenda 21. There are all these principles: the ruling government and equal opportunity poor citizens.
Wow.
And that's what they want to do to our cities.
AB 22 is a cleanup bill that removes archaic and outdated references to the Communist Party in our state law, specifically those stating that a public employee may be dismissed from employment if he or she advocates or is knowingly a member of the Communist Party.
Thank you, Mr. Bonta. Mr. Allen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill is blatantly offensive to all Californians. In my district alone, we have the Vietnamese Americans who had to flee a communist regime, which is why they're now in Orange County. You take a look at the number of people that communism has killed in the 20th century alone, it's over 90 million. Communism stands for everything that the United States stands against. We're for freedom. We are for justice. We are for democracy. We are for the rule of law, and communism is none of these things. To allow subversives and avowed communists to now work for the state of California is a direct insult to the people of California that pay for that government. I urge a no vote.